What happens when you have the South Node in Virgo and the North Node in Pisces in your natal birth chart? Well, that's what I'm going to be discussing in this video. So, first of all, the nodes are points in the sky that travel opposite each other, 180 degrees in the opposite signs, in the sign polarities, which are Aries, Libra, Taurus, Scorpio, Gemini, Sagittarius, Cancer, Capricorn, Aquarius, Leo, and Pisces, Virgo. Every 6 signs from one sign to then count 6 signs later, that is a sign polarity, as they're exactly opposite. And so the North Node is known as Rahu, the South Node is Ketu. The North Node is the dragon's head, the South Node is the dragon's tail. The South Node is Karma, the North Node is Dharma. The South Node is what we are already familiar with from either past incarnations or from our early life. It is our talents and gifts and ways of being that, while they may be comfortable or they may give us satisfaction, we can feel stuck and we're not really getting anywhere. We're not really expanding and moving forward and growing because of that South Node keeping us stuck and small. We're not really expanding and transcending into our North Node, which is our relates to destiny. It is the direction of growth and development and evolution in this lifetime. If you want meaning, if you want to feel like your life is going in a new direction, and if you want to be happy, then I suggest balancing the North Node with the South Node, because that's ultimately what you need to do, is to balance the nodes out. Not abandon the South Node to completely move into your North Node, which is the high road of the South Node, the higher expression of the South Node. Use that to move into your North Node. So, and the North Node isn't going to feel the most, natural per se, but it's a natural challenge that your soul's sort of calling you to move in that direction. And you'll find that things go better for you and that your life is better, just in general in that case. I'm not here to tell you what direction to go in to make your life better or what's right for you. I am just saying this in general. So I don't want you to take this, literally and just, because I'm not telling you how to live your life here. So, delving into the particular axis of Pisces and Virgo, this is known as the health axis. Virgo deals with it deals with your routines, nutritional health, physical health, mental health, emotional health. It deals with, maintaining your body and also how you maintain your environment. Are you clean? Are you organized? Is it a space that works? Is it a space that is in order, where there's great value and effectiveness in that particular environment? And it's also a sign that deals with service to others. Virgo comes in with this genuine desire to serve. And I'm going to delve into more of the shadow sides of this sign as I get into the South Node, because the South Node reveals the shadow sides of whatever sign that it is in. The Virgo Pisces axis is also the axis of well-being, spiritual development. It's also the self-care axis. So doing, the skills that you need for yourself in the physical environment, taking care of yourself, how you, hygiene, how you organize your environment, how you live your life, is your room clean? All those kind of details relate to Virgo, and then Pisces is much more your spiritual and soul development. Your sort of that kind of area. Do you feel loved and in bliss and connect to the divine? Do you feel that you have a connection to spirit? That's really Pisces. So, spiritual development. It's also Virgo relates to self improvement, self development, and it's also about compassion. Is very related to Pisces. Humility is another thing with Virgo, really being humble to serve others, to knowing one's place. Virgo is ruled by Mercury and has the desire to learn really valuable and high quality information, especially related to, self-improvement. All those self-help books really relate to the sign of Virgo. And it's not super, dramatic, not, show off, type of, it's not the kind of vain or arrogant or super, proud side where it can get to a negative. It's more of a modest sign. So, when I think of Virgo, I think of more modest attributes. So there's a humility that you can strive for more, that you can become better, that you can continue to grow. That's one of the higher sides of Virgo. Selflessness, putting yourself, putting others before yourself. So spiritual well-being, giving versus receiving. In a way, Virgo is giving because it is doing something. It is you being in the practical and physical world, actually manifesting something and making something happen, and actively doing something, and you're giving to that person. Is it a meal? Is it advice? Is it, vitamins? Is it recommendations for books that they should read? Is it, what is it that you may be giving to them? This is very much the Virgo energy because, it seeks to make a difference in people's lives and contribute and help others out in those practical ways. And Pisces is sort of more on the feminine side of receiving, um, the divine. But the Pisces Virgo axis itself is a feminine axis because we are talking about Earth and an Earth and a water sign. Earth and water are feminine elements, the feminine elements. So, Pisces energy really encourages you to look in the mirror and to say, I am enough. To just acknowledge who you are and to love yourself, the way that you are. Know that you're enough. Self-acceptance is a key piece here. And Virgo energy is, at the worst, the South Node in Virgo can be very hard, very critical on themselves, being hard on themselves, like they're not doing enough, they're not enough, that they're, this, all of those, Virgo's ruled by Mercury, and it rules the judgments and the gremlins in your mind that judge you for not doing this and not doing that, and not being this type of a person, and not taking care of this detail, not finishing this project, not giving enough of a contribution to this group over here, or not cleaning up enough. It's just Virgo is sort of a not enough energy at best, and also at worst. So, so Virgo does relate to um, just just pressure, an internal dialogue that's harsh and that is mean, where you're turning in on yourself and you judge yourself in a really negative way. And so Virgo wants order too, and it wants to be in control of its environment. The South Node in Virgo really comes in with a strong need to be in control, to organize, to clean up, to make sure everything is efficient and in working order. Needs that structure. Um, and so Pisces deals with releasing, letting go of that need for structure. It's about trusting the divine, trusting in how things can be unstructured, perfectly imperfect, spontaneous. How you can do something not because of just based off of a structure or plan, but because of the inspiration, because of something flowing through you, and just the mood swings. Pisces is a mutable sign that sort of goes wherever the wind takes it. I want to go over here and I want to go over there, and I'm trusting my intuition, and I'm doing this and doing that because I feel called to, and it may be disorganized, but that is a quality that in this lifetime it will be very healthy to move more into. Um, and so, I think that this particular North Node placement is very refreshing for a person to have. And in my opinion, it can be, easier to move into, but maybe also more difficult because of Virgo's attachment to its feet on the ground, the reality, all of that. It may be more difficult. But anyway, so, dealing with the South Node and Virgo, really getting into it, very concerned with the details, getting it right. Um, the South Node and Virgo work, and putting those two together, has a high work ethic and worked very, very hard in previous incarnations in early life, almost too much, overworking yourself, overkill, overdoing it, where in a hospital or anything having technical like accounting, or a doctor or a nurse, or any type of environment or profession like that. You probably worked in those areas, where you perhaps paid attention to the clock on the wall to make sure that, because you wanted to make sure that you were on time, there were limits to things that you wanted to get this done and get this right, and pay attention to all the little details, and get this done by this amount of time. And there is a desire for the South Node in Virgo for the world to be in perfect working order. Um, so it deals with labor. It deals with the logical mind. Virgo rules the logical mind, the left brain, where you also compartmentalize issues in your life. The emotional issues, any other situation, or relationship, or feeling, or mood, or desire to do other things than the work that you needed to do at a particular time. You compartmentalize that, and you were able to focus and put your mind to whatever it is that you were doing, and work really hard. And those are all really positive things. But on the downside, this overworking yourself can also lead to and lend itself to being a martyr, to being martyrdom, falling into martyrdom. So that's a downside. So another downside in my mind, which is another sort of shadow side of Virgo, is sort of compulsive tendencies to go back and check to make sure if you got it right, to do things right, to do things better, that things aren't right, which has to do with aspects of your physical environment, where your nervous system is really jacked up, and to anything going wrong where you were super sensitive to shoes dropping, and shoes falling out of the sky, where if there's something that's unclean or something out of place or something disorganized, there is a desire to clean that up and take care of that, even though it may not be the best, most useful thing to do at that time. And it may even be an addictive quality where you're continuing to go back and fix and and redo that with that compulsion. And I don't want to assume that this is one of the traits of the South Node, but this is, of the South Node in the sign, but this is something that I really associate with this South Node placement, and also the South Node in Scorpio, too. There's a high, strong energy with the South Node in Virgo, too. Um, Again, very judgmental. If I haven't said that before, um, and you know, you're always asking those questions. Is it useful? Does it work? Is it in order? Is this effective or efficient? You knew how to sort of fix, to make the machine work, or to find what was wrong with something and put it to order, put it um, back together again. But now it's time to move away from and detach from always cleaning and doing things and organizing and being caught in the logical reality all the time. So, perfectionism or self improvement. Self improvement is the high road of Virgo, perfectionism is the low road of Virgo. An astrologer that I was watching had a video where he was talking about how perfectionism is actually a good thing. Well, I'm here to be really blunt and honest. It's not a good thing. Just like smoking is not a good thing. Perfectionism is, I'm going to say that it is all negative and not healthy. Destroys your peace, your bliss, your contentment, your happiness, your joy, your freedom, your creativity. Um, you know, that spirit within you. It destroys all those positive feelings. And yeah, self improvement is a whole nother story, where you are enough, but what are you striving towards? What are you working towards? How are you evolving and becoming better? So, smoking, there's not an both and with smoking, that's just unhealthy. That's an unhealthy habit pattern and thing to do, just like perfectionism. And so, why self improvement is actually a good thing would have been a much better title. This person was talking so well about this particular topic, but this person, they were talking about the wrong thing. Instead of self improvement, it was perfectionism. So, I think that the people who struggle with perfectionism, obsessive compulsive tendencies, feeling like they're not enough, really, really feeling a lot of psychological, mental, emotional pain because of that. I don't know about what I was watching about how perfectionism is a good thing. I do not believe it is. So, Virgo South Node, the high road of this is the high road of the Virgo South Node is self improvement, and you can use this to take care of yourself and work on and sort of move towards your Pisces North Node. Again, the need to be productive, to do something, to make something happen. And so moving towards your North Node in Pisces, Pisces deals with the spiritual world, the mystical world, taking care of ourselves on a spiritual level. It deals with opening our hearts with love and compassion, really connecting with other people on a soul level as opposed to just an intellectual level, and really, being there for them and nurturing them, and also particularly nurturing yourself when it comes to self-care, things like meditation, journaling, and developing a spiritual practice and tuning into your spiritual journey and spiritual development is huge and comes highly recommended for a Pisces North Node to integrate into your life. It's about moving beyond the physical reality, moving beyond the mundane. And the question is, what's nurturing to you on a soul level? That's what you should be doing. Is it painting? Is it music? Is it art? Is it getting outside in nature? All those kind of things. It's time to engage in those particular activities and habit patterns, like the sign of Virgo. Developing those habit patterns, healthy habits, to bring into your routine to for your Pisces North Node. And so, replenishing and restoring your energy, taking time out and not always doing things for other people all the time, not always serving, not always taking care of everyone's needs, being at everyone's beck and call all the time, which can feel difficult and unnatural. And sort of scary, and you're not used to this because you're used to always taking care of the issues in your environment. But now it is time to put yourself first, and where being selfish can actually be a good thing. Where you're, it's not necessarily selfish, but self-care, self-love, embracing self-love, self-worth also. Replenishing your energy, resting. Is it through meditation? Is it through just some quiet time? What is it? Through the North Node in Pisces, you can also forgive yourself for who you are, for all of your, for your scars, because we all have light dark inside of us, and we're all perfectly imperfect. And so there's a song called No Scars Too Beautiful, and I'm sure a lot of you have heard that song, and that really relates to Virgo as a sign in the North Node in Pisces, where it's not so much about it can also be, that you're beautiful on the inside and the outside, and also, your inner beauty, looking to your inner beauty, the divine within you, which is Pisces energy. So can you accept yourself and love yourself for who you are? For who you are, without the ego judging you for not being enough, for not doing enough. But can you find peace, surrender, and can you feel content with being enough as you are? Empathy, cultivating empathy for yourself, sympathy for yourself, and other people. Once you take care of yourself, once you restore your energy, once you put your oxygen mask on before helping others, you will be better suited and equipped to help others. It comes from a heart space, it comes from a soul space, but it comes from you genuinely wanting to help others as opposed to having to, as opposed to overworking yourself, as opposed to being, miserable and being a martyr and exhausting and burning yourself out and not giving yourself that time to restore your energy and relax and take time to breathe, take time to be still, take time away to get away from all of the routines, the emails that you need to check, but just doing something that can ground you and that can put you back in touch with your body into the physical reality. Virgo is the least grounded of all the earth signs. And yeah. So, just doing something where you can become more present, more grounded, more, again, connected to spirit, connected to source, such as meditation, taking a walk outside in nature, all those kinds of things are great to do with the Pisces North Node. If you have this placement, leading into your sensitivity, empathy, developing more empathy and understanding where you're really feeling the other person, understanding what they're going through and really being there for them. Stepping away from doing something, really understanding them and just being there for them as opposed to just doing, so much and feeling the need to constantly do, something to help them and improve their lives. It also relates to trusting your intuition as opposed to squashing down your intuition, because trusting your inner knowing, trusting the divine part of you that is inside of you to move in a particular direction, to go on a path, when you'll know when drawing boundaries, both North Node and Pisces and Virgo in their own ways deals with drawing boundaries. The downside of Pisces can be being caught in victimhood, being caught in not having healthy boundaries, but it is so important to feel into your gut feeling, your instinct. The situation feels wrong. I shouldn't go here. I shouldn't, go, do this or this. This goes beyond the logical mind, but this just feels off, or this just feels right. For some reason, this just feels like I should do this. And, tuning into a part of you that doesn't use words, but just use vibration to communicate, following it and trusting that is super important. This also relates to healing other people, working in any healing field, therapy, being or an artist or a musician or anything, creative, or anything that involves healing and really spiritually nurturing to others and yourself. It's about embracing your dreams, the dreams that you have in your imagination. And with the South Node and Virgo, you know how to have a list and follow the steps to make this a reality. But now you're bringing in the new information, your dreams, your ideals, your sort of the mystic part of you, that invisible, fluid, vivid out of this world part of you, and moving into more of a dreamy space, allowing yourself to just dream, sit quietly, reflect, um, and embracing the your imagination, and allowing your imagination also to lead the way. Um, so imagining new possibilities, new ways of doing things, new ways of living your life, and balancing those qualities. Um, Through the North Node in Pisces, you can also become more one and interconnected with all of the life around you, as opposed to Virgo, we're all separate, and we're all I think therefore I am, that particular quote, and that we're all in a separate physical reality. Pisces is about the ocean, is about the sea of, that we are in communion, that we're all one. And it's about mutual love, and understanding and compassion, and all those, those are themes of the sign of Pisces. So, you're when you're doing things like meditation, walking, outside, um, you know, those healthy things that you can do for yourself that are spiritually healing, for self-care, you can have a much greater appetite to help others, to be there for others, to be in service of others, to have that empathy, to hold that compassion and that love for others. When you can truly feel that sensitivity, um, for others, and the interconnectedness that you have with other people, and as I said, life itself. So that is the video that I have on the North Node in Pisces in the natal birth chart. I really, really hope that you enjoyed. Bye, everybody.